Hello there and welcome back to another episode of Craft Therapy. So we are currently working on our major project of the Jamaican color dining table set, the placemat set. And what we're now doing is putting together the different motifs that we're going to be eventually joining to create this masterpiece. Okay, so last week I would have showed you how to do this center motif. This week we're going to work on putting on the second section of the motif, and for that we're going to be using green. So for the second section, it's going to be 2 rows going around. The first row is going to involve something called a V-stitch, and the second row is going to be the shell stitch. So if you're not quite familiar with those stitches, this is your opportunity to learn more about them. Now, the beautiful thing about this row is that I don't have to start here, and I don't think I'm going to, right? I'm going to start a little way away. I mean, I could have, but I choose not to. And we're simply going to attach our next color into any of the double crochet stitches that we have. And so I'm just going to pull through the green. I'm going to do a single chain to anchor it. Then in the same space, we're going to put a single crochet. And then we're going to do 4 chains. And these 4 chains will act as a double crochet and 2 chains, which is what our V-stitch is going to be comprising of. Then in the same space, we're going to put a double crochet. And that's our V-stitch. We're going to chain 3, and then skip 4 stitches, and in the 5th stitch we put our V-stitch. So we chain 3, and then we're gonna count 1, counting with me, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th stitch we put our V-stitch. The V-stitch is going to be double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet into the same space. And that's our V-stitch. So the pattern is going to be chain 3, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th one we do double crochet. Come on, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th one, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the same space. And we're going to do that all the way around. Let me do one more and then meet you back at the end. So chain 3, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th one, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So I'll see you when we get to the end, and I'll show you how to join this row and move to the shell stitch row. So we're at our last chain 3 space, chain 3, and then we're going to find the second chain Remember, we started with that single crochet and 4 chains. The second of those 4 chains, and we put a slip. I'm just trying to pull the tail out of the way off camera because I don't like how it is in the way. Just trying to hold it. Alright. And that is our second chain right there. And we slip stitch, pull through. And that's how we end that. Now to move on to our shell stitch, we do a slip stitch into the chain 2 space and then chain 3, put 2 more double crochets into that same space, chain 2, 3 double crochets into that same space, and we will have a shell stitch. And then we're going to do an official shell stitch without the starting of a row to show you what it looks like. And you realize that this is pretty easy going around, right? So we chain 2. In our next V stitch we do 3 double crochets. Don't mind if the work looks like it's turning into a cup or a bowl. It will stretch out. By the time we're finished putting in these stitches, it will stretch right out. So we put 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and we do that all the way around. So I'm just going to do one more and meet you at the end. So we do 2 chains, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 2 chains, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and that's all there is to the shell stitch. So I'll meet you when we get back around to the end right there. And we're at the end of the shell stitch row. So we've been doing 2 chains in between each of our group of shell stitches. So all we're going to do now is 2 chains, and then we're going to find that 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, and create a slip stitch. Let me make sure it's going into the 3rd chain. I always have to check carefully to make sure I'm going underneath the 2 loops, because if I go underneath 1 loop it will kind of stretch out a bit and I don't like that look. So we do our slip stitch. Now usually I would do a single chain to hold it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut it, leave it loose, because the actual pattern has the same color going around from this point, but because I am changing colors I need to cut it and not really tie it off, because I'm going to actually just pick up from here and keep going. I'll either pick up from here and keep going, or I will tie off and start in a shell stitch for the next group of stitches, but that's next week's video. Alright, but in a nutshell, that is it. This is our the second level to the border motifs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right, we should have 9 groups of shell stitches. I'm just counting that off. So that's it. So very easy, very simple, and our major project continues. So thank you for joining me, and remember, keep those hands busy so that your mind will be at peace. Happy crafting.